Hi there! In this video we'll talk about how to film overhead. So this is still the hardware section. We talked about the surroundings, the lighting, we talked about which phone you can use, we talked about how to film talking head, and now we'll talk about how to film overhead. This is going to be very interesting because it really depends on what you want to film. So I will show you how I filmed my piano course, okay? So again, for this I will stand up, take my phone out of the case and show you how I did it. Okay, so now the phone's out and you can see my piano is here, and if I want to film it, I want to actually film it from above, something like this, right? But there's nothing here, there's just a cupboard. So how did I did this? So I thought about how it's possible. We have this cupboard here, so the cupboard is your best friend when you try to film overhead. So I took this sheet music thing, I jammed it between the cupboard and the folders I have here, like this, sort of. Well, I hope it's using one hand, like this. And you can see it fits fine. So then I took the phone, I placed it on top, like this, with the camera peeking out from the back. And that's how I filmed it. So as you can see, if I put my phone or the current phone over it, this is how I filmed it. Works great, right? And I'm just using a cupboard. So the cupboard is probably your best friend in this scenario. If you want to film something overhead that's on a table, then also get a plank like this one. You probably have something like this lying around in your home anyway, or just take like one of the shelves out of your cupboard and then jam it between something in your cupboard. So for the other course which I did, I filmed overhead using this table. As you can see, this table is quite low, so it's ideal because if the table is quite high, it's the chances of you finding a cupboard that's higher than the table are minimized. So find a low table and then also find like a cupboard like this or something like that. Jam something between something you can find, like this board. Jam it between the shelves or something that's on it, and then you have this perspective basically, which is great. But then of course you have to knee down in order to film it, which is fine. But that's how you film overhead stuff. If you have a tripod, that's great. If you have a friend that has a tripod, that's great also. Let me just put this here. Don't fall over, okay. So, hi, I'm back. If you have a tripod, if you have, or if your friend has a tripod or anyone, try to ask around if they have one, because if they have one, it's going to be much easier. You don't need to go through the hassle of finding things in your room and stuff like this. Okay, that's what I did anyways. So this is how I film my courses with pretty much nothing, just my phone and some stuff in my household. And I can promise you that if you look long enough and if you have this mindset, right, you will definitely find something to film your course in your household. You don't need to buy anything. But if you do have a tripod, definitely use the tripod, right? So if you have a tripod, you can mount your phone on it, or sort of mount your phone on it. You can put it anywhere in the room. You can adjust the height, right? Then you're absolutely fine. You can even tilt it downwards so the phone is like looking down. Absolutely no problem. Put it on your table or something like this. No problem whatsoever. If you don't have one though, you have to go to the methods which I just talked about. But they are fine. You can use those too. As long as people don't know how you filmed it. As long as the end product looks good. Okay.